So again, you're listening to the Duncan Real Estate Show here on 970 WFLA. When we aren't on air, make sure to follow us on all of our socials. We are at The Duncan Duo, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. And speaking of YouTube, we've got some videos coming out on our YouTube channel that I recorded with our president, Robert Johnson. And it's some great insight about, if you're a home seller, how to pick an offer. We talk about a market update, what we're seeing in the statistics and what you can expect this spring and summer. We also have some tips coming up on that same channel about if you're a home buyer, what to do before you ever get in a car with a realtor to look at houses. So again, youtube.com/The Duncan Duo, pretty easy to find on our channel. I want to move next to 7 things you might not need to do if you live in a hot real estate market, and I think our market can classify for that. It's a little slower, I think, than we expected in the winter, but it's heating up now. And home sellers today, the home buyer wants a turnkey house, or they want a discount for it. There's a segment of the population that will buy a house that needs work or is priced well because they can do some things to it themselves. However, the best chance to get the fastest sale and the best price is having a turnkey house. However, what's considered turnkey depends on the market. The hotter the market and the lesser the inventory, the more a seller can get away with. So, I want to talk about some of these things that you can potentially avoid depending on the situation. Anytime one of these articles happens, it's real general in nature, but every situation's different. The competing inventory, what's going on in your neighborhood, what's sold in your neighborhood, all make it different. So some of these points might not specifically apply to you, but nonetheless, staging. Staging is one of those things that I think is going to depend. It's one of those things that sometimes you can pass on and sometimes you can't. A great real estate professional can interpret that, and I think it's important to talk to your agent to determine if the investment of staging makes sense for your house, your price point, and your neighborhood. It's my experience that the higher the price, the more likely you are to need staging because you're selling a lifestyle at that point. The lower the price, the more likely you can get away with it. Mostly because there's just such little inventory that in today's market. I have homes on the market right now of my own, personal properties, homes that we've bought through our instant cash offer program, as well as rentals that I've owned that we decide to sell. And I have some staged and some not. I do an evaluation to determine the competition and then decide from there what to stage and what not to stage.
And sometimes the seller's home may already be furnished and decorated perfect and they
Correct.
don't need to do anything. Or it could be as easy as, okay, your decorations and your furniture is fine, but you have too much clutter.
Yep.
You just need to get rid of some stuff.
Changing out carpet for hardwood floors, I think that's one of those things a lot of times you don't necessarily need to do because you're not going to get dollar for dollar on it. Now again, if the carpet's really bad, that's a whole other scenario. But if your carpet's in pretty good shape, you may not need it. Again, one of those case-by-case situations. Upgrading older but functioning systems like the AC, that's one of those things I think you can skip. If it works, the likelihood is that it'll work for the new buyer and it'll pass inspections and they'll be okay with it. If it doesn't work, that's a different scenario. But if it's older but still working, that's one of those things that in a hot market you can probably skip. Obvious repairs, you've got to do them. If there's something visibly noticeable, if you've got old evidence of a leak, if you've got paint that's peeling, if you've got a broken window, those are all things that you definitely need to take care of. Interior paint is one of those things that it definitely depends. Depends on the color choice that you've selected to live in. If your house is really dark, you might need to change it. Or if you have kids or animals and the paint is really dirty and scratched up, you might need to paint it. So that's one of those things that's going to depend. In a cold market, you got to do all these things. But in a hot market, some of it you can get away with. Expensive landscaping, that's one of those things I think you skip. In a hot market, I don't think it's needed. I think you need to freshen up the mulch, have it weeded, have the yard cut, and again, this advice doesn't apply to every single house.
Right.
So, and then last but not least, upgrading appliances. Appliances are one of those things that really do make a difference. They help the house stand out. The advice in the article was that you do them, but again, it's also going to depend on the appliances you have in the house.
Right.
If you've got nice stainless appliances, you might not have to do it. But if you don't, if you've got really old appliances, if you had to pick between the appliances, old appliances that are working and an old AC that's working, I'd tell you to do the appliances every time.
Right, I've seen sometimes where it's kind of the opposite effect of that, and they make the mistake of taking out their nice appliances and putting cheap ones in. And that
Correct.
could hurt,
Yeah, because they want to take those with them.
Exactly.
Right? So again, you're listening to the Duncan Duo Real Estate Show. We're here talking about the Tampa Bay real estate market. I'm Andrew Duncan, joined by Mike Gates. When we aren't on air, make sure to follow all of our socials. If you're thinking about selling your home, you know what? I want to buy more houses. So you can go to our website at theduncanduo.com, fill out a form. We'll give you all your options. We'll tell you what we'll buy the home for cash. So if you're someone that's heard some of the national home buyer ads where they'll step in and just give you a cash offer, and that's what you want, reach out and we can help you with that as well. But we'll also make sure to let you know what you're leaving on the table in that situation, what your home could sell for in a retail traditional sale. But again, I want to buy some more. I've got TV ads out there talking, showing us getting our checkbooks out to buy homes. So we're interested in buying more homes, and certainly if your home doesn't fit that, then we'd love to help you sell it as well. So again, we're going to be back. We're going to continue our conversation about the Tampa real estate market. We're going to talk more after a quick break here on the Duncan Duo Show.